would like to talk about a few life hacks and techniques that I use on daily basis in order to improve my productivity and overall web development experience. Now, as this being a lightning talk, I will be skipping a lot of arguments and case studies. So therefore, if you find the topic interesting, you can find the slides and further resources on the following links. Okay, so my first recommendation for web developers is to learn how to type with 10-finger technique. Typing with 10 fingers will enables you to type faster, type with less errors. You will execute keyboard shortcuts more effectively, and you will be able to type without looking at the keyboard. Now, I will get to the point why that's important later. One of the key arguments that I hear from web developers is that, yeah, typing technique, that's nice if you are a writer, but we web developers, we tend to type more special characters like commas, colons, semicolons, squiggly brackets, and so on. Now, this may not be necessarily a problem for Ruby language, but there are definitely a lot of languages that feel the pain. In my opinion, this is not necessarily the problem of the typing technique, but the QWERTY layout. As you can see, all the special chars are located on the right-hand side. Now, that's why my other recommendation is learning Dvorak keyboard layout. I'm not the only one, okay. As you can see, the layout is a little bit different. All the vowels were moved to the left-hand side as a primary responsibility for the left hand. The design also introduced a concept where you have some of the special characters on the left-hand side, which will a little bit ease the pain of web development using 10-figure typing technique. Now, you don't necessarily need to, let's say, buy a new keyboard or replace your MacBook keyboard with some crazy stickers or something. All you have to do is learn the layout, and like I said, when you're typing with 10-figure technique, you don't have to look at the keyboard. Now, I've been using the combination of Dvorak 10-figure typing technique and Vim editor for nearly 6 years, and I'm definitely recommending this combo. Now, we web developers, we tend to spend too much time at our computers, and sometimes this brings some health issues. For example, if I'm typing entire day on a regular size keyboard, by end of the day, my wrists are killing me. So slight improvement is to use ergonomic keyboard where the layout is split into half and curved on a single monolithic board. But if you are a tall person or person with wide shoulders, this may not be enough. That's why my other recommendations is split keyboards. With split keyboards, the layout is physically split into half, and you can fully adjust it according to your needs. Now, the problem with split keyboards is that they are a little bit expensive. So my recommendation is make them yourself. Go online, buy two exactly same travel keyboards, some cheap USB hub, plug them together, use a left-hand side of the first keyboard for left hand, right-hand side of the other keyboard for right hand. If you have a soldering iron, cut off extra wires, solder them together, and you have a split keyboard. I'm actually using this for over 3 years. Everyone thinks I'm crazy. My other recommendation is don't sit like this. Go online, buy some laptop stand or monitor stand, and level up the screen so that it fits your height. If you don't want to spend any money, just grab some Argos catalogs, stack them up, and you have a free stand. Standing desks are getting more and more popular these days. For those who don't know what they are basically desks where you are not sitting but you are standing. apparently standing is better for your posture, but again, the problem is they may be a little bit overpriced. So again, my recommendation is make them yourself. Here's a solution that Jessica Allen from Engineer used to use. It's basically a standing desk made from IKEA furniture. Here's another solution that I found on the internet and that I really like. It's basically, again, some IKEA shelf units stacked together, and you have a nice standing desk. If whatever you're going to choose, just make sure it will fit your height. If you are 6'2", 6'2", and your colleague 5'4" is selling a standing desk that he made for himself, it may not be a good purchase. Not all of us can fit an extra desk in our office or home office, and try something else. For example, sitting on a Swiss ball. This is a Swiss ball that I use down at our Pubble office, and believe me, if I can sit on a Swiss ball, there's no such thing as being too heavy for a Swiss ball. Again, make sure the Swiss ball will fit your height. All the several previous slides were pretty much pointing to this one. Make sure you switch around the work setups. You know, for example, spend 2 hours sitting on a chair, then switch to Swiss ball, then standing next to the standing desk, and so on. It's just because this way you won't be crawled in the same position for several hours. One last recommendation: try developing applications on remote servers. What I mean by that is basically nowadays we are using a lot of cloud solutions, like we are doing code reviews on a GitHub, we are running our tests via Circle CI or Travis CI, we are running our deployments via CodeShip, we are sharing the documents via Google Drive or Dropbox. And it just makes sense that more and more developers tend to just write the code on actual remote box somewhere. There are 2 ways how to do this. You can actually SSH to a VM on, let's say, a launch Vim editor or Emacs there, or you can use cloud IDEs. Cloud IDEs are basically web browser editors and terminal emulators, and they usually comes with a small VM where you can run your tests, run your Rails server console, run your tests. The point is, you no longer hold data for your application in your laptop. They are somewhere on a remote box. So if something happens to your MacBook today, tomorrow you can bring a Chromebook and carry on working as nothing happened. So yeah, thank you very much. And